Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Hail to all, where we do not need. Hail to all. Hail to all. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke. Hail to the Fandom Menace. Well, hail to all. This is Bear at Bear Nerd Fun. Well, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to be checking out Chaos Central. Media reviews, movies, comics, music, pop culture. The Fandom Menace approved. Heroes of the Fandom Menace. Data Racer, Bacca, Stephen Walton Jr. The heroes behind the curtain. Who is the Fandom Menace, you might ask, or you already heard of us? Well, let us tell you who we really are. I will not and cannot take away the good work which is done by Stephen Walton Jr., the Fandom Menace historian, but I will give you a short insight into one of the already most controversial groups in Star Wars fandom, and meanwhile, other fandoms too. The Fandom Menace came into existence without a name to it. Shortly after the film The Force Awakens received its first reviews. At this time, the Fandom Menace wasn't already a movement, but the first critics of the slowly growing movement spoke out against the direction Disney has taken with one of the biggest franchises ever. Star Wars, one of the most known controversies of this time, is the Black Stormtrooper. Controversy hyped by the mainstream media, which was clearly a fake controversy. You can learn about this fabricated controversy here. The Black Stormtrooper. Those of you interested, the link to Bacca will be in the info section. It became very clear that some strange political agenda was about to be driven against the fandom. Specifically, the men within the fandom, which, in clearly dominating numbers, made Star Wars that big franchise in the first place. Meaning, they gave their heart and money into Star Wars just to be accused of racism or bigotry because they're Star Wars related questions. Yeah, we did. We had questions, for sure. The birth of the Fandom Menace. The real beginning of the movement under its name is to be found somewhere short after The Last Jedi hit the big screens. The precise first appearance of the name is not clear, but it appeared for the first time in the circle of the popular YouTubers, Ethan Van Sciver, Geeks and Gamers, and world-class bullshitters. As far as we know, the name came up in the chat of one of their live streams. As far as I remember, it was one of the High Council streams. One of the most important things of this movement is that it has no leaders. That's right. There ain't no leaders. The Fandom Menace is a grassroots movement in the most perfect sense of the word. It is made from many diverse fans from across the Star Wars fandom, but it also includes other fandoms as well. A joke that goes around is that we are more diverse than those people who try to infect all franchises with social political messages and rules, who call us names like misogynist, alt-right trolls, homophobic, etc. I can think of one that comes to mind. Man babies. Yeah. Yet, this joke happens to be true. We are a consumer-based movement. Yeah, we close our wallets. The people of the Fandom Menace are held together by strong values and for the love of our specific franchises and escapisms. We are held together by the wish for quality in our franchises, the desire for respect of our beloved characters in our escapisms. More importantly, we are bound together with criticism for current trends or inflections into beloved franchises. Much of this infiltration is based with unreliable political messages clearly thrown in for virtue signaling rather than quality production. Yeah. Quality writing, quality anything in a movie, that's really what we want. Don't want to be preached to about the way they think things should be for all people. The way we want to see things is good writing that doesn't have any political pandering. But even that is not the primary motive behind our movement. Our motivation is based on the fact that, as customers, we're called the evilest names in the book, whether it's by shills and creators working for these franchises or by bandwagoning media outlets. All have something to fabricate without just cause. This ongoing infiltration leads to the destruction of lore, characters, and rules of beloved escapism. Like Star Wars, the creators don't care anymore for the character development or coherency, but instead for virtue signaling and very strange kinds of justice validation. More specific information you can read when the books, The Fandom Menace Volume 1 through 4, due for publication. And Disney Star Wars is Dumb are published. In my opinion, it's a must-read for all fandoms. Every movement has its heroes. Like I said, the Fandom Menace has and needs no leaders because that would be contrary to some of the values of the movement and it would change the makeup of the movement explicitly. But it has more famous representatives like big YouTubers. As an example, Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Mauler, That Star Wars Go. Also, a massive amount of smaller channels, The Rookie Critic, Mary Mayhem, Sean Stackhouse Reacts, The Real Review 3000, Drunk 3PO, Black Angus Reviews, and Sith Critopian, just to name a few. It's absolutely not possible to name all creators here, and the focus shall not be pointed on those already well-known creators, but on those who actively help the movement by reaching informations, documenting happenings, and being the scribes of the history of this movement. When I try to use my knowledge about marketing, social media, and the internet as a whole, my estimation of the reach of all the people involved in this movement could easily be somewhat around 15 to 20 million viewers at times. Sure, not all of them will all watch all the YouTube videos. Not all of them are familiar to the name, the Fandom Menace. But if a focused and a Pacific group action would be made, this These are the numbers which can easily be reached, in my opinion. Heroes behind the curtain. A movement wouldn't be a movement without those people who do a lot of work to gather information or put things together as a source of background information, and this is a massive amount of work. The heroes I must bring to your attention with this article are Itchy Bacca, Data Racer, and Stephen Walton Jr. All three men have uniquely different ways of working, but all three continue to the background of the history gathering of the bizarre and malicious things happening to our beloved franchise. All are outstanding in their effort and come together with the values shared in the Fandom Menace. Let it be known that the fans and customers need to be respected by these companies, and as such, they should be considered a vital part of the franchise's growth. Without the money of these fans, these franchises wouldn't exist. This is for certain. The behavior and the treatment from creators and shields of companies like Disney or Lucasfilm is in no way acceptable. Nor is the constant brainwashing of the masses that longtime fans are misogynist, Nazi, alt-right, homophobic, and whatnot. We are the people who gave life to these franchises by our long-term loyalty, and we are not interested in any real-life politics which influence the quality or coherency of the stories told. We are the people from all classes, races, genders, and backgrounds. We are black, yellow, white, red, and in between. We are women, men, transgenders, queers, gays, lesbians alike. Anyone who tells otherwise is a liar. Itchy Bacca is a remarkable journalist, especially when it comes to Star Wars. His website, Star Wars is Dumb, is a massive source of information about the happenings all around Star Wars since Disney took over Lucasfilm. Not only is this article on point, but he also represents his topics with a unique sense of humor. In fact, in his work so good that it often is used as a source for verification about specific incidences within Star Wars fandom. In addition to this, larger YouTubers utilize his information for their reports and news. Some intense debates in our fandoms have become far more efficient and fact-based. All in part to Itchy Bacca's tireless effort in research and documentation. You can say Itchy Bacca provides endless ammunition for encounterments and factual data to prove a certain point. I am absolutely convinced that Itchy's work should be seen as a treasure and a vital part of the Star Wars history. Even more importantly, he provides documentation in the corrupt habits of companies. These same companies possess billions of dollars in significant franchises which thrive only from the money of loyal fans. On a side note, when these corporations cheat, they're stealing from us because they're basically lying, because it's dishonest. Back to the article. As we speak, Itchy is close to publishing his book, Disney Star Wars is Dumb, via Indiegogo. I highly recommend purchase a copy for yourself. This will be an awesome piece of work and should be part of every Star Wars collection. Itchy Bacca will be making an appearance on Comics Artists Pro Secrets YouTube channel September 13th, 2019, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Itchy's interview will be made available on the channel if you happen to miss it. Thank you, Itchy Bacca, for your amazing effort. The Mysterious Data Racer. Data Racer is well known in the active part of the Fandom Menace. He somewhat has a mystical image because of his fascinating ability to gather factual information in an extremely short amount of time. Yet, he is also able to find evidence hidden deep within the internet, much of which normal user wouldn't even think exists. Data Racer is a master researcher in his own ways, able to represent this information efficiently and factually. His motivation, as much as I know of, is obviously to bring evidence against lies spread across the internet, addressing strange rumors and agendas head on with documentation. His field of work isn't limited to Star Wars, but covers a big part of pop culture. I'm not really sure what brought him to this kind of work, but he clearly has the same values which link us all together. Fact is that Data Racer's efforts are still underrated but absolutely vital in terms of the values which form the Fandom Menace. He delivers information and connections which are not always seen. He was an essential part of the debunking of the narrative of mainstream media, such as Vanity Fair tried to spin Kelly Marie Tran harassed off social media, which tried to place members of the Star Wars fandom into a very bad light and create a new controversy. Learn more about the debunking here. This is not the only instance where Star Wars fandom was under attack. The attack spread to other fandoms as well. Many tried to spread a specific narrative, constantly focused on fabricated political talking points such as all white men bad, or toxic fandoms rumors. The recruited attack stemmed from corporate-owned sources such as mainstream media, Hollywood insiders, even the blue check marks of Twitter. In this sense, Data Racer is one of the heroes in the background fighting against those lies and attempts of infiltration. He does an amazing job to cover those smear campaigns, and that's why I want to thank him here. Also, in the name of the Fandom Menace, for his amazing contribution of working power for the right thing. Data Racer, you're amazing. Follow Data Racer here on Twitter, and he'll be in the info, as all mentioned here will be in the info on this video. Stephen Walton Jr. Last but not least, I will mention Stephen Walton Jr. He is already the seasoned author of several fictional sagas, overview, and has turned about a year ago into the historian of the Fandom Menace. As we speak, Stephen is working on the books, the Fandom Menace Volume 1 through 4, and has started a GoFundMe campaign for the production costs. Not to get a copy, please read on. Already parts of the Fandom Menace have been given to the rare opportunity to view the first chapters of these books, included in his book and numerous forewords of whether outstanding members of the movement like author Anthony Irgo, who was threatened to get doxxed by Star Wars shill Brian Young for his amazing parody account, Ruin Johnson, on Twitter. Brian Young's doxing attempt of Anthony Irgo didn't turn out as he would have liked. In fact, it only brought on more sympathy and support for Anthony and doxed himself. We all had a good laugh. Some of the contributors for this book are Jesse Milestone from Mindless Entertainment and Lord Dictor Van Doomcock and Nerdrotic. Hail Gary, hail Doomcock. This is just a small number of the fandom, and hail to all Fandom Menace counterparts. But there are plenty where that came from. I absolutely recommend you to back up Stephen's GoFundMe, which will start this October, to get your own copy of his 4-volume series. Stephen tells the story of the Fandom Menace, the background to his very special movement, in a moving and focused manner. He represents the connection between the fandoms and the infiltrations with the specific political agendas, the attacks at valid criticisms and their works. With awful methods, Stephen brings you the conclusions which give birth to this movement. The involvement in this book with so many interesting and influential people from different fandoms and social backgrounds make this work unique and informative, and I'm not even sure if there is any comparable work out there. It's reflective of the times we are living in, whether it's apparent socioeconomically, politically, or culturally. This book is vital in understanding the impacts of identity politics. One point we can all agree on: keep your fucking politics out of our escapism. Yep. And in this sense, I want to thank Stephen for his massive effort to bring these things to light, adding a valuable and important piece of literature to pop culture and the fandom's escapism. Thank you, Stephen. Follow Stephen on Twitter. Here. Stephen will appear for an interview on the YouTube channel Nerdrotics, September 13, 2019, Friday at 9 Eastern Time. The video will be available on Nerdrotic's channel if you miss the live interview. Nerdrotic. Hail to the Fandom Menace. Now come on, Hollywood. Stop smelling your own farts. You might get mistaken for arse sniffers. Remember, when you go woke, you go broke.
Please subscribe to Bear Nerd Fun. Smash the like button. Goodbye.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Say hello. Say nerd fun. Nerd fun. Nerd fun. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Hail, hail, hail.